What's going on, guys? Welcome in. Barzine Vasugian here with you on a Sunday. We have not done a pregame live chat in 13 days. Feels like a very long time. 13 days is too damn long. It goes by quickly during football season, but in the moment, it just feels like it's too damn long. Too damn long. Happy Sunday. Happy game day to all of you guys. Hope you're all doing well. Hope your weekend's going well. Let's chat about some football, shall we? Super Bowl rematch. Chiefs 49ers. A lot of people are going to be watching this one. So let's talk about it. So from the Chiefs standpoint, obviously coming off the bye week, a big deal always made about Andy Reid and his success rate coming off a bye, which the Chiefs have had some bad moments off of bye week, but more times than not, Andy Reid gets his guys prepared for the game. And then from the defensive side of it, listen, you always trust what Spags and this defense is going to do. I think, again, coming off the bye with everything the Chiefs have gone through, kind of a good time to have it. I know no one had that mindset about the Chiefs in the offseason, but I think this is the perfect time to have the bye week and get ready for 12 straight weeks of football here, because if the Chiefs can stay together and try to avoid the injuries. I know it's been difficult this year, but if they can get through these 12 weeks, and I'm not saying they're going to win every single game, they got a chance to wrap up the 1 seed before the final week of the regular season, before week 18. That would be huge for Kansas City to get that bye week in the postseason, which again, obviously has a lot more value now because there's only one bye week for each conference when it comes to the postseason. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting distracted watching this pathetic excuse of a football game. Thank God this football game is in London and not the United States, because nobody would go in the United States. Okay, maybe 20 people. Okay, fine, 22 people would go. Literally, like, who wants to watch this game? But hey, I'm a hypocrite. I hate these international games. I don't want to watch games between two bad teams, but if it's the only thing on, yeah, sure, I'll watch it. I like waking up on a Sunday morning, starting it off with some football. But yeah, as far as the Chiefs defense goes, with Spags and everything this Chiefs defense has been doing, they certainly needed this bye week, come back fresh and get ready for a 49ers team that, has also been dealing with some injuries. Certainly nothing bad or as bad as Kansas City's. Christian McCaffrey expected to come back in the next couple of weeks. Deebo Samuel and George Kittle, I think they both missed the game, and I believe it was the same game. So you've had that from San Francisco's side, whereas Kansas City, they're dealing with all these injuries left and right. So I'm curious to see how this defense matches up against San Francisco. The thing I keep going to, and if you guys saw my three keys, this morning, I mentioned that one of them is to stop Jordan Mason. The Chiefs have done a really good job against running backs this season. The only reason the Chiefs are not number one in the NFL in rushing yards is Lamar Jackson just ran all over Kansas City, which I think you would rather have that than allow those deep passes down the field, which the Chiefs did not allow in week 1 against Baltimore. They made Lamar Jackson run it more than pass it. So that whole thing right there, that's the only reason why the Chiefs are not number one when it comes to stopping the run. The rushing stats a little inflated there. But in general, the Chiefs have been great this year against top-tier running backs. And again, it's not like they haven't played anyone. They went up against J.K. Dobbins, who was third in the league in rushing yards at the time and had the highest yard per carry average in the NFL. They shut down Alvin Kamara. They shut down Derrick Henry, especially after that first drive when Derrick Henry was actually off to a good start on that opening drive of the game. And the Chiefs shut him down the rest of the game. So here's another top 5 running back the Chiefs are going to be going up against. And it's not like this Chiefs run defense, they're going up against, third string running backs that no one's ever heard of. The Chiefs, they're going up against the who's who of running backs this season. So I'm excited to see what Kansas City's run defense is going to do in this game again against Jordan Mason. The offense. Listen, I think you don't see it on the stat sheet. It's not reminiscent on the stat sheet or anything, or even the scoreboard. But I do think the Chiefs offense has been playing better the last, let's just say, 7 quarters of football that they've played. The first quarter against the Chargers at 10-0 deficit with the Carson Steele fumble, the Mahomes interception, and the Rice injury. I would argue ever since then, the Chiefs have played way better football since since the Rice injury, essentially. I am seeing Mahomes play with more confidence. He's even taking smart risks, I would say, meaning that, he's going back to throwing the ball in tight windows, but making sure it's only going to a place where only his pass catchers can get it. Now, is he still going to make mistakes? Yes, every quarterback does. But I feel like Mahomes has limited his errors these last 2 games. Ever since that interception in the first quarter of the Chargers game, he's played way better, way smarter, and I think that's made a big difference. You saw it in the game against New Orleans, and listen, New Orleans has some good players on that defense. We know a couple of them real well. Colin Saunders, Tyrann Mathieu, just to name a couple. They've got some good players on that defense, and Mahomes had no problems moving the football down the field against the Saints. The only problem with the Chiefs offense in these last 2 games, the red zone. Especially the last game, 2 of 7, not acceptable. That can be a cause of you to lose a football game. Thankfully, that was not the case. The Chiefs still won by multiple possessions there. And I just think if the Chiefs can be smart, because what did Andy Reid says? He said, I'm paraphrasing, but he said we need to do a better job of not stopping ourselves. Well, I think a big part of that is the play calling and the penalties. Yeah, a big part of it as well. But man, just run the ball. Run the damn ball. Who's stopping Kareem Hunt? Who's been able to stop him? I know it's only been 2 games, but for a guy who was sitting on the couch and wasn't doing anything this entire calendar year, and all of a sudden Kansas City picks him up and he starts playing real well. So Kareem Hunt, I mean, no one's stopping that guy anytime soon. So I'd like to see the Chiefs continue to use him, especially in the red zone. Not saying the Chiefs are going to go 100% run and 0% pass in the red zone, but let's run the ball more in those situations. And I have no issue with that pass to Juju Smith-Schuster. And I mentioned before, Mahomes could have been a little better with the ball placement there. But it's just, that play worked, and just Juju needed to come down with it. But hey, we got to see a cool moment where Colin Saunders got to show off his wheels on that play. But Chiefs have got to be much smarter in those situations there. Oh, I thought that was a penalty on Jacksonville. No, they're backing up New England. 3rd and 12 here. This is essentially for the game. I mean, they need another score anyway. Oh, yeah, and he's just going to get sacked on 3rd and 12 with the game on the line. Yeah, good job, Brooke. Dude, the Patriots are a disaster. No one wants anything to do with the Patriots. Tom Brady doesn't want anything to do with the Patriots. I mean, he could have easily gotten ownership stake in the New England Patriots. Like, no. I will get the Raiders instead, the other team that's a disaster in the AFC. But at least the Raiders are making a shit ton of money. Now, no, that money is not going to go to the franchise or the salary cap. That's only for the owners. Listen, I'm a Chiefs fan, but if you gave me the option, would I rather have an ownership stake in the Chiefs or the Raiders? I'm picking the damn Raiders. That team is always going to make money. Ownership for the Raiders will always be living large, because even, let's say the Raiders have like the worst 3-year stretch in NFL history. Even if unless your favorite team also flat out sucks, like the Patriots, all the other fan bases, they're willing to travel coast to coast, like a Miami or a Jets, Giants fan bases. All those teams on the East Coast, they're all going to be willing to travel. I know Steelers fans have done it 2 years in a row now to go visit their team in Vegas, because it's worth the price, worth the time, worth the travel, worth all of it. Whereas the Raiders, I mean, even if they flat out suck, they're going to pack the house every single game, whether it's their home crowd, which hardly ever do you see them pack the house with just their fans. A majority of the time you see a packed house with a 50-50. Sometimes the opposing fan base seems to have the edge on that side of things. But yeah, that's just a train wreck in New England, and Mac Jones just proved it there. Or not Mac Jones, I'm sorry, Drake May. He plays like Mac Jones. But that's New England for you. All right, how are you guys feeling about tonight's game? I said tonight, but it's mid-afternoon. I'm feeling pretty good. I'll be honest, this was the one game, but right before the season started, I thought this could have been the first loss of the season. But seeing how the 49ers are playing up to this point, which has not been very good, especially being the reigning NFC champions, almost Super Bowl champions, I don't know. The 49ers just don't look poised, especially last year when they got off to a great start. I don't know how much of it has to do with Christian McCaffrey Jordan Mason's played very well this season. So I don't think CMC being inactive for all these games so far has anything to do with it. I again, when you have the second best running back in the NFL, statistically speaking, I don't think Christian McCaffrey's absence has anything to do contributing to that 3-3 start. I do think defensively they're very inconsistent. They do have a very weak secondary. So I think this is going to be a game where Mahomes probably has his best game of the season. Where, and listen, the Chiefs have no problems moving the football. They don't. And the reason I'm saying that is because they do have a lot of red zone trips, but they get stopped a lot in the red zone. And as Andy Reid alluded to earlier in the week, those are self-inflicted wounds right there that the Chiefs are not allowing themselves to be able to capitalize in the red zone. So if the Chiefs just can continue to do their thing, especially the last two games where they've been able to move the football much better and just be smarter in the red zone, and I think play calling will definitely help with that, they're going to start scoring more points. They will. My score prediction for this one is 27-24. That is what I'm going with. Chiefs have won 4 of 5 against the 49ers, the 4 of the last 5. Yeah. It's I thought they called a penalty on the Jaguars. I was about to say they just gifted them a first down on 4th and 26. Dude, Gerard Mayo looks devastated. Listen, I had the Patriots winning this game, and I thought Doug Peterson was gone. Like, coming back from London, the Jaguars were going to give Doug Peterson a parachute. And like, dude, you got to go. You're on your own from here on out. Nope. Doug Peterson just extended his head coaching longevity by at least 1 week. I love how there are just random jerseys in the crowd. Like there was a number 7 Broncos jersey. 4th and 26. What are the Patriots going to do? Can Drake May put on his superhero cape? Oh, deep shot. Almost picked off. So close. Not really. I'm going 27-24 Kansas City. I'd love to know what your guys' score prediction is for this game here. I do think Kansas City is going to play much better offensively. I do think they're going to be able to move the football, especially against this 49ers weak secondary. Here's the other thing, too, about today's game, and I know we hardly talk about special teams, and I don't think anyone's talking about it this week, except for me. Special teams is going to have an impact in this game. They're down to their third kicker, Anders Carlson, who missed 6 field goals with the Packers as a rookie last year. And then the 49ers have allowed the 5th most kick returning yards on the season, including a 97-yard kick return touchdown that Seattle had against the 49ers. It's crazy because Seattle had 7 kick returns against the 49ers on Thursday Night Football last week, whereas the Chiefs, they have 7 kick returns on the season in total. Now, the only way you can have that many more kick returns is if San Francisco is scoring a lot, which would not be ideal. But I do think that if Kansas City, whenever they have an opportunity to return a kickoff, because we've seen them let the ball go back in the end zone or just take a knee. We've seen that a lot. I think this is where you take a few chances here and you go and test that 49ers special teams defense. I'd like to see that. I already put in my DraftKings same game parlay. I told you guys during the podcast I'd do it. I went ahead and in my parlay, I did include a defense/special teams touchdown. And I also did another bet separately, just put a Chiefs defense and a special teams touchdown score. So I'm feeling pretty confident on that front right there. Oh, the Jaguars are like, fuck it, we're going to score here. I mean, the Patriots are calling timeout, so I guess you kind of have to, but oh well. I mean, it's not like the Patriots are going to score twice because they're down by 9, so they got to score twice, and plus you got to have the onside kick too. So, yeah, was I planning anime? Yes, I was going to go Friday night, but they didn't have Celebrity Row open that night, which I think is kind of weird. But I did go yesterday. That is a really weird shot. I don't know who that play-by-play guy is. Looks like Joe Tessitore, but I don't think that's him. Dude, that other guy next to him is just like towering. He kind of looks like Scott Pollard, doesn't he? Oh, no, I was going to show it to you guys, but yeah, I was there. It was a good time. Yeah, good time. Old people stop me, recognize me, which is always cool. Put in a steel TD? Nah, I'm not sure if we're ready for that yet. Though if that happens, social media is definitely gonna. It's gonna crash. 100% gonna crash. That is a touchdown for Jacksonville, and New England's gonna go home a loser. I mean, they already were before that touchdown, but still. 49ers fans already getting the excuses here already. I mean, I'm not surprised. That's kind of what they do. Every single time they lose to the Chiefs. Oh, the refs. Oh, no, this is how they sound.
The refs. I can't believe the refs did that.
That's what they sound like. That's what every Chiefs hater sounds like.
Oh, no. The refs. I can't believe the refs made him commit a pass interference penalty.
Right? I mean, come on. Dude, they keep showing. I mean, they're not trying to show Luis Rees-Zammit, but he just happens to be in front of every camera shot because he's standing on the front of every on the sidelines there. So every time they try to show the sidelines, Luis Rees-Zammit is back there. I knew he was on the Jags as a wide receiver too, which I find interesting because I don't know if the guy can run routes. Listen, I'm bummed out he couldn't make it with the Chiefs because he does have that explosive athletic ability. And I mentioned earlier the transition to football. I mean, putting on a helmet, the pads, it just seems like he's so much slower in the NFL. But hopefully he can find a way to improve and get better. Are they going to fire Gerard Mayo? No, I mean, it's his first year, but he's got to play better. He's got to play way better. Coach way better, excuse me. Because I saw a lot of Patriots fans on Twitter wanting him gone. It's like, dude, it's funny. Raiders fans and Patriots fans, they got their new head coaches, Antonio Pierce and Gerard Mayo. And in the offseason, I heard about how, they're going to turn it around with these coaches here. And both fan bases want those coaches fired. This is why some teams can't succeed. And I do feel like there are there are owners who do give into the social media pressure because we're in that social media era now where fans are always demanding excellence right away. They want that instant gratification. But you got to give these guys time. Like Antonio Pierce needs at least 3 years. I don't care what sport it is. Give a head coach 3 years. Let him bring his guys in, especially in the college ranks, because you want to make sure you have your own recruits there and give them time to develop and get ready to go, because you don't want to just put a whole team of freshmen out there on the field. But Crosby to the Lions, maybe. Like if you're Max Crosby, I respect the fact that you bleed black and silver and you have that loyalty. That cannot be. You can't take that away. And in fact, respect to that. But if you're Max Crosby, realistically speaking, what do you want to do? Like, what is your long-term goal as a player? Do you really want to stick around? Because the Raiders are not turning things around anytime soon. They're just not. They're really not. Why are the Chiefs underdogs in this game? So I did not realize this until this week, but I guess Vegas always gives, and I heard this mentioned on the Jody Mack show last night on CBS or Infinity Sports Radio. I'm not used to that yet, which I hate that name. But anyway, the home team always has a 3-point advantage on the betting lines. So technically, the Chiefs are favored in this by 1 point. They always give a 3-point advantage to the home team, which I don't like. I think that's dumb. Seriously, if the Chiefs were playing the Patriots in Foxborough, can you provide one logical reason as to why you give the Patriots a 3-point advantage? That's not to say upsets can't happen. We've seen that. But as far as betting purposes go, it just doesn't make sense why you provide that 3-point advantage. It doesn't make sense. What about Wilson? Who's Wilson? Russell Wilson? It's the only Wilson I can think of, which we're not really talking about, unless you're talking about a different Wilson, Angel. Who are the Chiefs going to get at wideout? They're not going to get anyone via a trade. That's not happening. And I don't say that, with any thrill or anything. Because I've said that and people have been upset with me. The Chiefs, I mean, they only have $4.5 million in cap space. Who are they going to get? Who are the Chiefs going to get in a trade? Your options are very, very short right now. Amari Cooper was kind of an option there, but even then would still be a very tall order to get him. So I don't really know. I'm not sure who the Chiefs are going to get. Crosby says he wants to win on the faders, LMFAO. Yeah, I mean, I respect the loyalty. I can't hate on that. Tony Gonzalez did that for so many years. Now, Tony Gonzalez did get traded right before that weird downfall. Oh, okay, not right before, but at the beginning of the 6 bad years from 07 to 2012. But I don't know, man. I mean, if Max Crosby really wants to win, dude, you got to go somewhere else. Go to Detroit, go to Cincinnati. We definitely miss Pacheco because of the red zone problems, Matthew says. I do agree we miss Pacheco, but I don't think that's the cause of the red zone errors. I think it's still self-inflicted. Like, the Chiefs are hurting themselves in the red zone. Doesn't have anything to do with missing Pacheco. I don't get me wrong. I hope Pacheco comes back 100% healthy and ready to go. But I don't think that's why the penalties or the issues are happening. The penalties part of it, play calling, big part of it. I think you can still succeed with who you have with Kareem Hunt, Samaje Perine, CEH, and Carson Steele. Garrett Wilson, okay, maybe. I don't think so. Listen, the Jets just got Devontae Adams. I think they're all in on trying to turn the season around. So I don't think that's happening, if that's who Angel was referring to. I'm pissed the Bills got Cooper. I mean, listen, they needed someone. I saw that he's the worst rated receiver by ESPN. Kind of a surprise to me. I mean, I know he leads the NFL in drops right now, but it's not like he's leading it by a seriously wide margin. Okay, says anything is better than Sky Moore. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Sky Moore, a lot of people got a kick out of this one. If you guys haven't already, I could not create different ones because that would have taken me forever. But we're all gonna play the same bingo, the same bingo card. This right here is your Chiefs versus 49ers bingo card. I hope you guys like this. It's a little hard to see on a StreamYard. It's big on my end. I don't know how it looks on your guys' end. But yeah, what do you guys say? I need honest opinions about this one. Do you guys like it? Is it funny? Is it cool? Is it dumb? Is it ridiculous? I gotta know, because if you guys like this, I'll do it. I'll do another one next week. All you guys got to do is let me know. I'm a man of the people. I'll do 99% of what people want to do. No, maybe would not surprise me. If I had to bet on it, I'd say yes. Yeah, a couple of you guys are asking about Deontay Johnson. I don't know. Look, never say never, but I just have a hard time believing. Listen, Kansas City's their wide receiver issues this year much different than last year. Obviously, last year was the drops, where you thought that bringing someone off the street could have maybe helped if you had the best available wide receiver in free agency. But the Chiefs didn't do that. The Chiefs have issues right now with availability in wide receivers. What are they doing? They could easily promote someone from the practice squad, either Justin Ross or Nico Remigio, maybe Montreal Washington, who's got really good speed. He could definitely do some damage in the open field. But no, the Chiefs are not going with any of those guys. Instead, they brought back Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They have 4 tight ends. They've got 4 backs, running backs and fullbacks together. They're not really making any effort to go get a wide receiver. And listen, maybe they're going to get MVS or maybe someone in a trade. Maybe they promote someone from the practice squad. They're not doing any of that right now. There's no sense of urgency to do it now. Because what did I say a couple weeks ago? If the Chiefs are going to get anyone, they had to do it now. Now, when was now? Define now, Farzin. When did you say that? The week of the Saints game. That's when I said that. I said, if you're going to get someone, you have to do it at the time because you let them be inactive for that game, let them watch from the sidelines, kind of learn a little bit. The bye week, that is when you can prep them during that time. I know a lot of the players are off and all that stuff, but you would figure that new wide receiver, let's just say Amari Cooper, could have spent that bye week kind of learning the playbook. That would have essentially been his training camp. Maybe he played in this game, maybe not, or whoever that wide receiver would have been. And then you move forward with them. The Chiefs they have not made a single move for a wide receiver. Not one. So, I mean, if you don't have someone brought in these last 2-3 weeks, I'm fully convinced you're not going to at all in the remainder of the season. You're just going to go with your practice squad guys, maybe MVS if he's willing to play for the league minimum. And at that point, you're just, that's your team. That's who you're going to go with. Okay, so you guys like the bingo cards. Cool. No, I mean, they don't. Their wide receiver 3 is a wide receiver 1, and the wide receiver they picked up right at the end of the preseason, Juju, is their wide receiver 2 now. And he is expected to play, by the way. Should I put how many penalties? Juwan Taylor? Well, that's a good one, Brenda. See, I'm all for suggestions. Let me know. MVS is going to the Saints. Why? I mean, did you see that Thursday game? I did not look. I would not want to go there. We decided to go with more tight ends and smash mouth running it. See, that's my thing. If this is, let me talk about this for a moment because I brought this up earlier. I think on the Red Friday live chat. I understand someone of Andy Reid's caliber is never a candidate for coach of the year because you're expected to do well, and I get that. See, MVP, offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, offensive rookie, defensive rookie of the year. Those all go to like the best players. Okay. MVP and offensive player of the year. Sometimes they're the same guy, sometimes not. Usually MVP goes to the best player and offensive player of the year goes to the second best player. You get the idea. Coach of the year is not like that. Coach of the year does not go to the best coach. But I think, if you're a voter and the Chiefs continue to win and get the number 1 seed, doesn't Andy Reid deserve serious consideration for coach of the year? Right now, my coach of the year is Kevin O'Connell for similar reasons, but you can justify, okay, Kansas City is Kansas City. They have Andy Reid and Mahomes and Kelsey. They always will figure it out, and that defense. But no one had any hope for the Vikings, even before the J.J. McCarthy injury. So anyway, my whole point here is if the Chiefs continue to do well, and if they really do adjust and become a run-first team, kind of like how you just alluded to, Joshua, with the more tight ends, the 13, 14 personnel that they're going to use a lot more of this year, it seems like, and go with that and still find ways to win, you got to give Andy Reid serious thought for coach of the year. I don't know. I don't think he'll win unless the Chiefs go undefeated, which I don't expect. But you got to seriously think about giving him a vote because you lose these players and you adjust your entire offense. Okay, maybe not the entire offense, but you do adjust your scheme by a lot, and you still find ways to win. That, my friends, I think you got to seriously consider coach of the year. I remember John Fox did something very similar in 2011. Where they changed quarterbacks. They had Kyle Orton and Brady Quinn, and they decided to stop using Kyle Orton, so they switched to Tim Tebow. And I know there are a lot of opinions about Tim Tebow, but they basically tore up the entire offensive playbook, and they created a new playbook as the year went on because Tim Tebow had a much different style as a quarterback than those other guys I mentioned. And they found a way to win the division, even on a bad year, still won it, and they won a playoff game. Now, I know you can't vote based on the playoffs. Your vote has to be in before the postseason starts, but John Fox did a tremendous job just kind of changing that offense on the fly. And I feel like the Chiefs are doing that exact same thing right now. Thankfully, it's not at the quarterback position, but you have a lot of key pieces who are gone. So I think at the end of the day, you have to seriously consider Andy Reid for coach of the year if the Chiefs continue to play at this level and if they continue to do it with a different scheme. That, to me, I think warrants coach of the year consideration. Yeah, should be late November, early December, Matthew. What time is it, by the way? 11:30? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here soon. I'll read one or two more. Let's see. MVS heading to the Saints for a tryout. Okay. All right. I mean, good luck. Last row up and down will never win because Sky Moore will never score a touchdown. That's why you put him on there. That's why you put him on there. That's why you gotta do it. Why don't the Chiefs just cut Jawan Taylor? Because that is a major cap hit, Noah. Unfortunately. Can't just cut someone. As much as I would love that too, kind of stuck with him. I think this offseason, what needs to happen, and I know a lot of people would rather have it now than the offseason, but I think the Chiefs need to cut some sort of a deal with Taylor where he restructures his deal, is willing to let the remainder of his contract go, and the Chiefs give him a certain amount and let him go. Because he has not been good. Not been good. He's had flashes, but way more negatives than positives. Thank you, Angel. I appreciate it. Yes, Bob, I'm with you. My score prediction is 27-24 KC. So go ahead and bet on that game. Take the points, take the money. The money line's more money. So what makes sense to do that than the game. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I am going to wrap things up. Appreciate all of you guys joining me for this edition of the Chiefs pregame live chat. Reminder, we'll be back at halftime. It'll be a much shorter live stream considering it's halftime. So about 9 to 10 minutes of a live stream there. So join me for that. And then after the game, we will do the Chiefs Zone podcast live. Your calls will be available. I'll put the link for you guys to call in. So hit me up after the game. We'll do the Chiefs Zone podcast live, and we'll chat it up with you guys, both in the comments and for the video call. So make sure you guys tune in and call in after the game when the live stream starts up and the game goes final. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'm Farzy Vasugian. Thank you all for joining me. I will talk to you all later. Take care.